Web standards. In this lesson, we will address ensuring standards and access and making sure our site gets found. I want you to be able to explain how the W3C creates standards, identify some issues involved in web accessibility, explain how the WAI and Section 508 try to ensure accessibility, list some conventions for web pages, explain how internet search engines work, list techniques that can be used to improve a website's standing in search engine results, and explain the purpose and value of web analytics. The W3C, which is an independent, nonprofit organization, oversees and monitors the creation and proper use of HTML code. It plays a major role in establishing and promoting standards, promotes the creation of well-formed code, seeks to ensure that websites appear in similar ways across many browsers and hardware platforms. HTML, XHTML, and other markup languages are not written and owned by specific companies. W3C produces technical documents outlining specifications for these markup languages and other web development tools, and more information can be found at www.w3.org. There is a growing demand that those who design websites make their sites usable to all users regardless of vision or hearing abilities. Two sets of rules govern accessibility: the principle of making web content understandable and usable by all people regardless of their disabilities, and those are developed by the W3C and the federal government rules provided under Section 508. The W3C standards. W3C launched a multifaceted effort called the Web Accessibility Initiative, or WAI. WAI includes the creation of guidelines for website accessibility, support materials and resources for web developers, tools for evaluating accessibility, and advice on using the web for those that have disabilities. As part of the WAI, the W3C has issued recommendations for accessibility called Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG. The WCAG is designed to promote accessibility in 4 areas: that content is perceivable, the website is operable, content is understandable, and the site is designed in robust ways. Assistive technology is any device or software developed with the goal of helping those with a disability use and interact successfully with a computer. A screen reader is a type of assistive technology that turns text on the screen into synthesized speech or braille. Section 508. Section 508 standards are mandates. It is an amendment to the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, and it requires federal agencies to make their websites accessible to all users regardless of abilities. Requirements do not apply to sites created by a business. It is standard to consider, so all members of your audience are included when you're constructing your web pages, and several Section 508 requirements are similar to the W3C's accessibility standards. So, testing your sites. Various tools are available to check for compliance with accessibility guidelines. Testing for valid code. Web editors have built-in code validation features. A validator is software that checks websites under development for compliance with particular standards, and generally checks 4 areas: markup language, cascading style sheets, appropriateness to mobile computing, and correctness of RSS or Atom subscription feeds. One way to find out if the website meets W3C accessibility recommendations or Section 508 requirements is to use a list of questions. Another common way to test for accessibility is to use websites that specifically test for non-compliance. Web designers provide a courtesy to their readers by designing sites to conform to certain web page conventions or expectations. This includes a copyright date and indicates the last day that the page has been updated, having links back to the home page in the event that a reader has come to a page from a search engine and cannot use the browser's back function. The home page will have an email link to the webmaster or the person who administers the website. And businesses and organizations have contact with the public should always include information about their physical address as well as a telephone number. Web convention to provide a page for frequently asked questions, or FAQs, which provide answers to common questions about the products or services of the organization owning the site or about the site itself. Conventions to use blue underlined text for active links, and purple underlined text for links that have been used. Because web users understand underlining to indicate a link, you don't want to use that formatting for other purposes because that tends to confuse visitors. But understand too, with HTML, you can change from that blue purple to actually customize it to match the overall look of your site. Evaluating websites. You use a rubric to help ensure that you meet accessible standards and create an effective site. Things like, is it easy to navigate? Is it easy to find information? Do all the pages have a link back to the home page? Are all the links easy to use? You use it when evaluating the content and design of other sites, and low scores can highlight some trouble areas. How does a website get found? They advertise in print or other media. Businesses regularly publish their website's URL on every ad that they place and on all official communications. And through search engines such as Yahoo, Google, Bing, which are search engines for user to find keywords in web documents or in databases that store information about websites, and displays lists of sites that contain those keywords. So how do search engines work? Search engines maintain vast indexes of web pages that indicate important words found on the pages and the location of those pages. Search engines use specialized software called spiders, or bots or crawlers, which continuously roam the internet and send the results of their encounters back to the search engine's database. Spiders also look at the page's meta tag, an HTML tag that stores information about the website. Keywords found within meta tags are specifically indexed so that someone using that word as a search term is likely to be notified of all sites containing that term as a keyword in the list of search results. Loading the meta tag with keywords or keyword stuffing is not the secret to getting your website indexed. Search engines now pay little attention to meta tags. Factors to improve the ability of a website to be successfully indexed. Use well-formed code. Make sure that no links within the website are broken. Use simple, relatively short URLs. Use very descriptive titles and headings that clearly state the topic of the content they refer to. Keep pages relatively small in size, including a sitemap for the website, and registering the website with search engines like Google, Yahoo, and Bing. Spiders do not index everything on the web. It is very important not to place vital information about a business only in a graphical banner or corporate logo. The website must also include that information in text form in order for it to be indexed. The Robot Exclusion Protocol, or REP, is a web standard that allows web administrators to block search engine spiders from indexing certain directories or files within the website. Enhancing your search results. Search engines list sites in rank order. 3 key factors can affect ranking order: the frequency and relevance of keywords within the website, the number of links to the website from other websites. The more of these links, the higher the ranking. And purchasing AdWords. AdWords are keywords and phrases for your site to which you agree with a search engine such as Google or Bing to link an advertisement. The practice of trying to maximize these positive factors is called SEO, or search engine optimization. Some ways to optimize a website include placing keywords in the title and headings, using keywords often in the content of the web pages, including words related to the keyword and the content to maximize possible listing on searches, agreeing to link exchanges with other websites by establishing mutual links. Sites increase the ratings of each site. Another option utilized by some firms is to hire SEO consultants to try to increase the amount of traffic to their sites. Web analytics. The way to learn more about traffic to your site is to use web analytics, which are statistical reporting tools that indicate the amount of nature of traffic to a website. Google Analytics is one of the most popular web analytic tools, and Bing has a similar reporting tool under its Webmaster Tools program. There are many independent analytics programs available for free as well as for purchase. Web analytics can provide a large store of data about website visitors: the total number of visitors by day, week, and month, the number of those visitors who were new to the site or had visited before, the average amount of time visitors spend on the site in general and on each page in particular, the bounce rate, or the proportion of visitors who leave the site after seeing only one page, the number of visitors who respond to ads or AdWords, the number of visitors who went on to purchase products or services from the site, the source of traffic, whether visitors came direct by entering the URL, or clicking on a bookmark, by clicking on a link from another website, or by clicking on a search result, and the number of visitors coming from each source. The World Wide Web Consortium goes through a rigorous process of proposing, receiving comments on, and revising standards before issuing them as final recommendations. The W3C expects web developers, browser companies, and others to follow the standards. The W3C initiative tries to promote accessibility of websites to individuals with disabilities, focusing on recommendations that make sure the websites are perceivable and operable, the content is understandable, and site designs are robust enough to adapt to future technologies. Section 508 of the Rehabilitation Act establishes rules that websites created for agencies of the federal government must follow to be accessible. While these rules are non-binding on non-government websites, they are still useful guidelines. The W3C and other organizations offer tools that can be used for testing the validity of a website's underlying code and the degree to which the site is accessible to those with disabilities. Certain practices have become conventions on the web, which means web users will expect websites to include them. Doing so is a courtesy and a way of ensuring the site visitors' practices, such as including update, copyright, and contact information, including navigational links back to the home page and an FAQ page, using blue underline type for hyperlinks, and a checklist of questions can be used to evaluate a website and highlight issues that may need fixing. Web analytics generate your statistics that can be used to analyze the traffic to a site, analyze the behavior of visitors when they reach the site, identify pages, links, or relationships that are effective and those that are not in generating traffic and in keeping visitors at the site once they arrive. Any questions?